Fundamentally, what you're saying to me is you are suspicious because of your environment and what happened to you. So now if you meet me, you are going to be suspicious of me, not because of me, but because of you. This is something you need to know about yourself. And this is what you need to control. And you need to realize that you don't need to be suspicious. Like, for example, I don't want to go into this, by the way, and I'm not saying this, but let's, may Allah protect us, right? Let's imagine that your dad was someone who constantly cheated on his wife, okay? And there was no trust there at all, and he just constantly, he was always cheating, and he was always like going with other women, and he was always doing this and that, like every month he's doing that, right? Then like I can see that there'll be a massive trust issue, because like there's a real issue here, there's all this kind of stuff, which is very serious and all these kind of things. But even then, that doesn't have any reflection on who you're going to meet next and what their trust is, okay? But you have a decision now of what type of person do you want to be. Do you want to be that person who's very suspicious, and you keep that cycle going where you then treat your husband in a very suspicious way, and then your kids then are very suspicious because you were suspicious with their dad, and then they then, well, this is the pattern, right? Because if someone doesn't break it, this is actually the pattern that's going to happen. Either you break it or you basically keep it going. Which one do you want to do? But I'm just saying that this is not something that will help the marriage usually. This is something that will make it worse or make it harder. I know you see it as a bad thing, and I know you see how it can ruin your marriage in the future and life and everything. But are you actually committed to breaking it? Because you just said to me that, I trusted my friends and this is the way I did it. What I'm saying is that at the end of the day, your friends are human beings. And your future husband, hopefully, inshallah, will be a human being as well, right? So because of that, like, fundamentally, you're dealing with human beings. And human beings are the same. Okay, yeah, men and women slightly different, this and that, but generally they're the same. So if you can learn to trust friends, and you've been able to do that, you can do the same thing here. But what it requires is you controlling your natural tendencies or your instincts as they have been in you. For example, your mum being suspicious and now you being suspicious. So you have to control that. Okay? So there's ways to do this. For example, you could just identify it deeper in terms of like what trust means to you. Okay? You could write a lot about that. Like, what does trust mean to me? At the same time, you could have like, what kind of person do I want to be when it comes to trust? Okay? So for example, you might say, I'm someone who wants to trust everyone I meet. That might not be the right thing. Sometimes you meet people, they shouldn't have their trust. Okay? Maybe it will be like, I want to trust my family. Okay? Or I trust my family. And just by you saying those words, I trust my family every day, I'm telling you that itself alone would have an impact on you. Okay? Alongside you realizing that this whole suspicion thing, this is something that's going to destroy relationships, this is something that's negative, this is something that's bad, all of these things, right? And then getting yourself into that mindset. So I think you need to come up with a plan of brainwashing yourself to actually now go the other way. And the reason why I say brainwashing is because I'm like, you've been very strict in reinforcing this because of your parents the whole time. It's like so deep in you that you now need to counteract it. And I'm saying that someone who is very suspicious, they should go to the extreme other end of being very trustworthy. Okay? And if someone is very trustworthy and it's like causing problems in their life, I think they should go to the extreme of being very suspicious, just to kind of bring them into the middle a little bit. Okay? And that's the key. Like, you don't want to be extremely suspicious, but you don't want to be extremely trusting as well, because sometimes there's people out there who are very negative and they're out to do harm as well. But you want to be balanced, right? But the key thing is that when you're in relationships, imagine that you're in a close relationship, and the marriage relationship is the most intimate. So imagine that you can't actually trust your husband. You can't trust your wife. No. How can that even work? I mean, think about it. Like, even from a physical perspective, the only person you're actually going to be with intimately without clothes is this person. So if you can't trust this person, like, you're suspicious, oh, I wonder what he's going to do here, or suspicious with this. Like, how does that even work? What I would do is I would read a book on trust, like you're saying. Okay, so I would look at trust as a topic itself. Okay, I would also sit down and I would write down like all the trust issues. I would go into depth. Like I would think about my mom and dad. What are all the things that she didn't trust him with? Why didn't she trust him with it? Just like think about all this stuff. Okay. Then I would actually come up with a set of affirmations that I would do every day. Right. So either it's like, I'm going to trust my family, or I love my family, I'm going to trust them, or they're worthy of my trust, whatever it is. But come up with something that you're going to repeat more and more and more. Right. And you should do that every day, basically.